Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. You know the feeling. You're in the grocery store, you're staring at a carton of milk, and you're trying to figure out what that date actually means. Is it about to go bad? Is it totally fine? Well, today we're going to decode all of that confusion.
Best before, use by, sell by, they're everywhere, right? But they're not just random suggestions. These phrases actually represent two completely different ideas. And once you get the difference, it changes everything about how you look at the food you buy. It really just boils down to two things: quality versus safety. One date is basically a friendly tip from the manufacturer about peak flavor and texture. The other one, that's a hard deadline for when that food is no longer safe to eat. And honestly, mixing these two up is a huge reason we all end up throwing away so much perfectly good food. All right, so let's get into how this actually plays out in the real world. Because you might be surprised to learn that the rules are totally different depending on where you are. This isn't just up to the company. In a lot of places, it's the law. And right here, this is the heart of the confusion. See, over in the EU and the UK, these date labels are mandatory. They're standardized. The law spells out exactly what each term means. But in the US, it's a whole different ballgame. Except for infant formula, there are no federal rules. It's all just recommendations, which, as you can imagine, leads to a ton of variation from state to state and even from brand to brand.
So let's start with the big one, use by. This is the one you really need to pay attention to. Think of it as a hard stop. It is a safety deadline, period. You'll see it on stuff that goes that quickly, like fresh meat or those pre-made salads. And in the EU and UK, the state is legally binding. After that date, that food is considered unsafe. No wiggle room.
Okay, on the flip side, you've got best before. The official term is date of minimum durability, which sounds a bit serious, but it's really all about quality. Your chips might not be quite as crunchy, your soda might be a little less fizzy, but the food itself is still generally safe to eat. It's just the manufacturer saying, hey, for the absolute best experience, you probably want to eat it by this date. Now, the date you can easily read. That's only half the story. There's another code, one that most of us probably ignore, that is absolutely critical for food safety. It's called the lot code, and believe me, it is the key to every single food recall. Seriously, every time you hear about a food recall on the news, this tiny string of numbers and letters is the unsung hero. The lot code, or the batch number, it's not really for us, the consumers. It's like the product's own unique fingerprint. It lets companies and officials trace a problem all the way back to a specific factory, a specific line, on a specific day. It's incredibly precise. And again, in Europe, this thing has serious legal teeth. The lot code isn't just a nice-to-have, it's required by law to be on the label, and you'll often see it with a little L in front of it. This isn't just for decoration, it's a system designed for one purpose: fast, accurate traceability when something goes wrong. So, to put it simply, that lot code is the product's ID badge. It points to a very specific group of items that were all made under the exact same conditions. That's what makes it possible to pull just one contaminated batch off the shelves instead of creating a nationwide panic. And while it has to be on the label in the EU, the system in the US is a bit different. It's typically required to be kept in records, especially for high-risk foods. Okay, so we've got quality dates, we've got safety dates, we've got lot numbers for recalls. How in the world does all this information get tracked so smoothly through a massive global supply chain? Well, the answer is hidden in plain sight, in the secret language of the barcode. You ever wonder how a scanner knows if it's looking at a price, a lot number, or a use-by date? It uses something called application identifiers, or AIs. And honestly, the best way to think about them is like hashtags for data. They are just simple numbers in parentheses that tell the computer, hey, the number is coming up next, that's a lot code, or this next bit is a best before date. It's a simple, brilliant system. And the process for turning our human language into machine language is actually pretty elegant. So you start with the info, right? Like best before September 30th, 2025. The system then slaps on the correct AI hashtag. In this case, it's 15. Then it converts the date into a standard format, year, month, day. And boom, that whole string of data gets encoded into the barcode you see on the package. Simple as that. It's these little numbers that give the entire global supply chain a common language. A scanner sees a 10 and it knows, okay, I'm reading a lot number. A It sees a 17, it knows, whoa, this is a use by safety deadline. It's this shared digital grammar that makes the whole world of modern logistics even possible.
Now, this whole system is really powerful, but it often means we have the regular barcode for the price and then the date and the lot code printed somewhere else on the package. The future, though, the future is all about bringing all of that together into a single scan. So get ready for a pretty big change at the checkout counter. It's an initiative called GS1 Sunrise 2027. The goal is that by that year, retailers all over the world should be able to scan 2D codes, like the QR codes we see everywhere right at the cash register. And this unlocks a whole new world of possibility.
What this really means is we're moving from having a bunch of different codes and dates scattered across a package to having just one single powerful symbol. A 2D barcode, like a QR code, can hold so much more information than those old school barcodes. It can pack in the product ID, the price, the expiration date, and the lot number, all inside one neat little scannable square.
Just think about it for a second. One scan gives different answers to different people. The cashier system can get the price, but also automatically flag a product if it's past its use-by date. A warehouse can scan it and instantly get the lot number for a recall. And you could scan that very same code with your phone and get recipes, allergy info, or maybe the product's whole sustainability story.
So why does any of this really matter? Well, because having clear, smart, accessible data on our food leads to a way better system for all of us. It means less food waste because we finally understand the difference between quality and safety. It means better safety because recalls can be way faster and more precise. And it means more transparency, connecting us directly to the story behind the food we eat.
And that really brings us to a final thought. As this technology keeps evolving, moving from just a simple price tag to a dynamic portal of information on every single item, it really makes you wonder, if your packaging could actually talk to you, what would you want it to say? The story of the farmer who grew it, the perfect recipe to use it in, or just a very clear, hey, you should really eat me by Tuesday? The possibilities are pretty fascinating to think about. Thanks for watching.